Welcome back. Let's see. The only thing I kind of missed at the first point was I didn't attune to the gold saucer. Whoopsies. Ba 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 ba. So how's everyone doing today? I am fantastic. Yes. See. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that wasn't bad. All right. Avenue 6, not bad. Nine, 1, 3. Oh well. All right, let's see. Yep. Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Don't worry, I'll do the Triform raid. I just was too busy doing other things to remember to attune stuff, so it's not gonna be that bad. Besides, this this kind of filler before the Triform raid. So, ah shit. Wait, what? 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 Wait, what? Son of a bitch. Ba da ba 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 ba. I would say this place has the most soothing and addicting music. Just hearing this all over and over, oh boy. But usually this place is busy, probably in the American servers. I think it's a little bit in the morning for the Japanese viewers. So it's quite different. I dare say, different. How you say? Um, energy. I would say energy. Shit. Another word. Another word. Atmosphere. There we go. Really different atmosphere, I would say. Entrance and card squares. Hey, I am skilled. Oops. Beyond this door lie Chocobo Square and Minion Square, homes to the heart-pounding, hair-raising spectacles that are Chocobo Racing and Lord of Verminion. Bum, 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 bum. These are these mini games. If you play them, they are exactly how mining and botanists worked in 1.0. Really fascinating that they keep the old system by via minigame. Quite interesting. All right. You have tuned yourself to all the ether shards in Manderville Gold Saucer. Sweet. All right, let's go back to Kugane. Okay, I'm done with this addicting song. All right. Well, hello there. Welcome, milady. There is a young maiden here who wouldn't speak with you. Miss, the adventurer has arrived. And here she is, the liberator of both Doma and Alamigo in the flesh. I am Lena Murilla, correspondent for the Raven. You may recognize me from my expose of the secret lives of the Homukaloli. Homukuli. Yeah. But not small talk. It's not for nothing. It's not for nothing that I've been standing here since yesterday morning on the off chance you'd pass by. No, I'm here because actually it's best you heard it from Alma. I am but an observer. Alma, come. I've found her. Is this the adventurer of whom you spoke? Indeed it is. Oh, she's adorable. Please, I beg of you, find my father. You are his only hope. It's all right, Alma. We are attracting unwanted attention. Might I suggest a change of venue? We will await you before the Prima Vista. The theater barge has a berth at the airship landing. Do. Ba 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 da 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 da. Ba ba da 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 da. That's a nice ground. Ba da ba ba ba. As I said before, I think it better we continue this conversation in the privacy of my young lady's barge. It's not that I don't trust anyone here, it's simply that I don't trust anyone here. Gate guard Minagumo has been instructed to look out for you. In future, speak with him when you wish to gain admissions to the docks. All right. Thank you for coming, Akira. You're probably wondering why I've summoned you to an airship, and a Guardian one at that. Allow me to explain on the shuttle. Ba ba ba. That's a nice ship. Welcome to the Prima Vista, the most luxurious theater barge in all the land. The Prima Vista serves as both stage and home of the majestic Imperial Theater Company. You can keep that dirk in your drawers. No one here is a member of the Imperial Army, nor are they any spies within the troop. At least, no known spies. Ask anyone and they will readily attest. The majestic Imperial Theater Company are the finest practitioners of the dramatic arts to be found anywhere on the three great continents and beyond. They have admirers throughout the empire and its territories, and even boasts a sizable following in Gridania, hence my assignment to their story. It is a little known fact outside Garlemald, at least, that the last emperor was devoted patron of the arts who supported the various theater tropes to the tune of much coin. And indeed, Solus was a in armored of the majestic players that he ordered the construction of the very airship that Trope might perform in every corner of the empire. When his grandson took the throne, however, everything changed. Now all the theater tropes, domestic and foreign, must submit their works for approval by the Central Imperial Board of Censors. If a play is deemed vulgar or inflammatory, it is banned and the trope denied their wits of transit. The worst offenders, well, they are never heard from again. These policies has effectively left playwrights with one or of two options: compromise their creative integrity to curry favor with his radiance, or put down their crews altogether. He's a dick. The principal of the Majestic, however, chose a third option to express his disapproval for the new emperor's policies, oblig- obliquely in ostensibly unpolitical works. Pray forgive me for my earlier outbursts. I am Alma Baslexatel, daughter of Principal Genomis Xin Lexatel. Mayhap you have heard of my father's latest play, the Zodiac Brave Story. On the surface, it is an innocent retelling of a well-known Garlean fairy tale, hardly worthy of the censor's attention. But beneath it is something quite different, a fact that the censors failed to spot when they approved the manuscript for public performances. The play quickly became a success. The common folk loved its fantastical story, while the learned classes appreciated its true message. By the time the Imperial Board of Censors realized their mistake, it was too late. No longer in a position to prohibit the performance outright without admitting fault, they took aim at the company's purse strings instead. Before long, noble patrons began to withdraw their support, fearing to be associated with the trope, and by the end, even the learned felt compelled to foreign ignorance. By bleeding the Majestic of their funding, the censors robbed them of their voice. And none of these has made it any clear as to why you're here, right? Allow me, Lena. Oh, what's up, Sid? I've known Jenna Miss since we were students at the Magitech Academy. When I heard his daughter was in Kugane looking to enlist the aid of an adventurer, I felt compelled to give her your name. Sorry for not announcing myself sooner, old friend. Genomus and I were from different worlds, but that that only served to fuel our friendship. Many were the nights we would prattle on into the wee small hours, warm flagons of peated ale numbing our minds to the other's naive ideologies. Yet, no matter where our conversation began, it would invariably and with him telling me how he was going to change the empire from the inside out. The trope was to be his path into the people's hearts. Even after the empire forced him from his home, Genimus never gave up hope that his work might change the world. Art will ever stand against artificial bounds and borders, man made walls, and misguided wars. It is in such times of uncertainty certainly that we must needs embrace our calling and take to the sky so others might do the same. What I am trying to say, rather poorly, I concede, is not all Garleans are hewn from the same stone. Just as there are those who pledge their lives to the Empire and would never think to question the authority of its leaders, there are those who, like Alma's father, and myself, whose love for their country does not blind them to its flaws. Still, try selling the sack of the sunflower to an Alamegan or a Doman who has watched his family consumed in the flames of a Magic Tech Reaper. How many Erosians adventurers do you think would leap at the opportunity to help in Imperial search for her missing father, and in Garlean territory, no less? But you are different. You have seen enough to know that the line between good and evil is not defined by race, color, or creed. So what say you? I could never turn back on a damsel in distress. I would make a poor adventurer were I to shy from adventure. Indeed. Now that you understand the nature of the task, perhaps Alma could provide some insight to as to where we might begin our search. Shortly before my father disappeared, he began work on his next play, a successor to the Zodiac Brave story. Do what the hell? Okay. But I am getting ahead of myself. Please follow me. Oh, it records me breathing. It's fascinating. Do 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 do. Through adventure and hardships, young Delita, a boy of common blood, becomes a hero, culminating in the birth of a mystical kingdom of Ivalice. But that is where the story ends. There are no records of anything that follows. What was Principal Genomis simply going to invent something? My father believed that he had discovered evidence of a second hero, one whose efforts went largely unnoticed, but without whom Dilita would never have risen to the throne. His was the next tale he wanted to tell, the true Zodiac Brave story. A second hero. According to my father's studies, this young man was one of Delita's closest friends and confidants. That is until the untimely passing of Delita's sister forced the two to part ways. Yet the unnamed hero continued to provide aid to his friend by thwarting the machinations of those who would scheme against Delita, thus paving the way for the Pauper's rise to regent. You must forgive me, but I've never heard anyone make such claims. How exactly did your father come by this information? That is a long story. One which begins and ends with Xenomis becoming lost in the very legend he sought to lay bare. Even as far back as our academy days, Evilise had Genomis firmly in its grasp. He flatly refused to believe the story was just a fairy tale. And so when he was finally driven out of Garlemald, it was only natural that he should choose this of all places as his refuge. Was it not, Alma? That is correct, Master Garland. Has long been my father's belief that the ruins of ancient Evilise lie beyond Naxia, buried beneath the sands of the Dalmasca Desert. Poor Dalmasca, the kingdom prospered in relative isolation for countless generations until the Emperor came calling. When not touring, my father would organize expeditions into Dalmasca Desert to search for proof of Evalise's existence. Sometimes he would bring back strange artifacts, ancient tomes, and crystals unlike any others. My father called them Arasite and claimed they were vital in proving his theories. This is one such crystal. By the 12th, it's magnificent. Evalesian legend tells of crystals bequeathed by the gods unto those who would be kings. It is during his quest to gather Auracite that young Delita rises to province. I must have heard the tale 1,000 times from my nursemaid, but that is all it ever was, a tale. My father would often tell us how the Auracite spoke to him. At the time, we assumed he was speaking figuratively, that the stone's beauty rose his muse. 1 second. But then he began to act strangely. How so? Following our arrival here in Higanshi, My father spent most of his time closeted in his chambers, poring over his past research, and though he was alone, we could oft hear him in conversation. It was not uncommon for my father to recite the lines as he wrote them, but it soon became clear that this was something else. It was as if he was talking to my mother who passed away several winters gone. Might this not have been out of mere loneliness, or perhaps the stain of your flight from Garlemald? Possibly, but that would not explain the voices which answered him. Alma, who are these people? I told you I did not require any help finding father, especially from outsiders. So good of you to join us, Ramza. Allow me to introduce. Enough, Master said. We may be shunned by the Emperor, but we are still guardians, and we still have our pride. Unlike some, it seems we require neither the aid nor the pity of foreign ramble. Have you forgotten where you are, brother? It is we who are the foreign ramble. This land and its customs are all but unknown to us. We would be fools to conduct our search without a proven guide. Your sister is right, Ramza. As for my good friend here, your mistress is ill placed. I will personally vouch for her character. In all the time I've known her, she has never once let anything as insignificant as race or creed color her judgment. You are lucky to have her. But we would have you, Master Garland. Why do you refuse us? You know why. Until this affair with Omega is resolved, my hands are tied. It pains me to refuse you and your sister, but it pains me far more to leave Genimus to his fate. I'm sorry. You need not apologize. I let my emotions get the better of me. After what happened in Wabanastri, it may be time to admit we're out of our depth. My brother's last expedition met with tragedy. In the ruins of the capital city, he barely escaped with his life. The Empire turned Rabanastri into a death trap. You were a fool to set foot there without a proper escort. I realize that now, Master Garland, but the at the time I saw an opportunity to rescue our father, and I took it. Whatever led you to believe your father was in Dalmasca's capital? My father's fascination with Evalesian legend began with a trip to Antediluvian city long before the war. Call it monetization, but something tells me that he is where that is where he has returned. Now you must excuse me. I need some time to think. Then, Alma, I shall leave you and your brother in Akira's capable hands. She has ever repaid my trust with interest. You would do well to grant her yours. Thank you, Master Garland. We will not forget this kindness. Dun, dun. Oh, how I miss my father. Sid didn't bid me farewell. This is going in my write-up. Master Garland seems to think highly of you, so I will withhold judgment until after Dalamaska. All right. Dalmasca is nestled in a forgotten corner of the Empire's outermost territories. I do not foresee any trouble from the standing army, but I would suggest committing to memory the location of each of the barges' exit, just in case. As for the flight itself, the currents above Dalamaska are as wild as the land below. You may want to hold on. Yosha! We'll complete our descent to Rebanastri in the shuttle. Rimza. I thought I made it myself clear, Alma. The capital is simply too dangerous. Father never would never forgive me if I were to lose you trying to rescue him. We are wasting time. According to my father, Rabanastri was already a thriving city some thousand years ago. But after performing several private excavations beneath the so called desert sapphire, my father came to the conclusion that it was not the first settlement to stand here. Then your father believes that the Remonastery sits atop the royal city of Lesalia, capital of Ivalice. But if it's true, it could change history. We would be famous. Famous. Are you sure you don't mean rich? Pah! Your kind are all alike. Parasites growing fat on the sweat and suffering of others. What the fuck? Bold words for a boy of but 16 summers. And what, pray tell, have I done to deserve such spite? I only wish to learn the truth behind the disappearance of the Empire's foremost playwright. If that should lead to something bigger, well, then I would be the worst reporter in the realm if I did not pursue it. Can I punch this guy in the face? Yes, yes, we can argue about this now. Or we can return to the Prima Vista and report to our army of adventurers that it is time to begin the expedition. I humbly suggest the latter. You see, it is as I said, brother. Let them come to us. Should we kill them now? No, the time is not right. When has that stopped us before? Fools do not see that one slayer of gods, they call her warrior of light. The royal city of Rabanastri is accessible. Alright. Oopsies, that's the wrong one. And we shall continue in the next episode. Till then, fare thee well.